Um, I have tried to take some initiatives to fight COVID-19 pandemic, but haven't reached the result I am at due to bureaucracy and some traditional thinking of businesses. So I thought to share my thoughts with you here through social media about how we can fight COVID-19 pandemic. Maybe this would reach some decision makers and they could find solutions that consider this crisis an opportunity that would trigger real use of digitalization benefits. So, as a digitalization professional, and I consider myself as a positive society activist, I asked myself how I would handle corona pandemic if I were a decision maker from a digitalization perspective and through situation, target action, and result analysis. So let's start. The situation, we all know that COVID 19 is affecting our economy and our society adversely. Shops and small businesses are closed, and if they are open, they should follow certain rules of distancing. But this lacks a reliable way of monitoring and efficiency. Business owners are asking government for support packages. In Germany, for example, Corona suffered health package, which is an amount of money that could support them to survive. This makes the economy suffers and would accelerate a new economical crisis. Hopefully not. From the social perspective, lockdown in many cities, people are really frustrated. Health issues, especially psychological matters, would rise. Infections and these cases are on the rise too. Recovery from COVID 19 impact is going to be an enormous challenge. As can be seen, there are so many apps in the market that do the same thing, alerting about COVID infections in the near, but not connecting with each other. Each country has its own Corona app that has costed large amounts of money on uh, on a time that requires wise spending. Sorry guys, you understand digitalization and business opportunities so wrongly. It's not a time to compete for business, it's a time to save humanity. Coronavirus doesn't believe in borders as you do. I can tell you, for example, if you have a German Corona app and you are traveling with a neighbor passenger who have a Belgium Corona app and you both are activating your apps, but both of you will not be alerted. This approach has many downsides for people of the same country or from a larger scale like the European Union or even the world. It acts like isolated apps in isolated islands, even if you are 1 meter apart. Yeah, I think the approach is a bit silly. So, our purpose from this presentation is to have a good measures to flatten the COVID-19 curve so less infection rates, minimize the losses as much as we can, thinking out of the box beyond traditional thinking, and use digitalization to serve this purpose with resource utilization in mind, and hopefully live normally in the new normal as being called. So, how? I believe this could be through two approaches. I thought about the bottom up approach and the top down approach. Maybe we can argue about naming convention, but this is what comes in my mind right now. And I am open for further suggestions, and actually, it doesn't really matter. For the bottom up approach, I am at serving the underserved, which means democratizing technology, reaching directly shops on the street with digital solutions that will only allow purchasing and using the services provided through digital means under a slogan, if you booked it, you can use it. I mean by this, buying and selling from physical shops can be done only, and I stress on only, through digital interface at specific and certain times. So we would live naturally the social distancing, which would lead to flatten the COVID-19 curve, and still those small enterprises can open for their customers, and those customers can still purchase, but in a more planned manner. One disadvantage is the lack of spontaneity, but we will have one big advantage, which is to avoid the lockdown. I think it was a move, or what do you think? The other approach, the top down, is about using mobile technology and smartphones effectively. Governments would ask the big players such as Apple for iOS and Google for Android to design an app, do the same as what current apps do, or provide a minimalistic one certain function to alert about COVID infections that can be pushed as a security patch to all mobile devices, Android and iOS, rather than the current strategy that each country has its own app, which really makes no sense. I consider this as a security patch because our health is a major security issue, if you can really get what I mean. The app can easily fund it through their corporate social responsibility budget, and the return on investment for all stakeholders is really worth it. Here comes the question, what about data privacy and our freedom of choice? If you would compare it with lockdown and the rising death cases, I think you will know the answer yourself. It's an ethical question and could have many debates and argumentations. However, I believe that at crisis situations like this one we are living right now, prioritization should change, at least for a temporary amount of time. We should know what we have to do. The result, hopefully, we have a healthy society that utilizes technology and uses its benefits regardless if they have the financial capital or not. We will or I consider that we have served the underserved sector and provide digitalization reach and benefits to them. We adopt a new future of shopping and utilize resources for both business owners and consumers. We flatten the curve and overcome the crisis by utilizing technology and using its benefits. The real question I would like to ask here, do we really want to fight COVID 19 and defeat this pandemic, or our priority lies on the business opportunity no matter what happens to our society? I hope this helps. Thanks for listening. My name is Selim Salman and I live in Germany, middle of the European Union. And for further details and how to implement that, I would be glad to discuss further. I wish you happy and healthy life, fellow humans. Thanks.